like 3 blue lights, and they were in like a triangle, and they just stars in the sky and disappeared.
I'm right on it. You can see it plain as day if you want to come look right now. This is kind of spooky. None of this was planned at all. I was literally like, it's my birthday. I want to go and do something fun. And what's more fun than anything related to cryptids? So I looked over at Elaine and I was like, it is like 9:30 a.m. We have nothing to do. We took off from all of our other tasks for the day. And I said, let's load up and find something spooky to go and investigate. So we did a quick search online and found the Dover Light. I've heard of the Dover Light before. I think I've even seen maybe an episode of some show about it, but I hadn't ever taken the time to really investigate what the Dover Light was. But all I knew was it was how far?
It's like a 2-hour drive, not
Okay.
even an hour and a half, something like that.
And I said, let's just get in the car and go. Except,
So basically, Cody told me that he absolutely had to have a thermal camera, and he just so happened to get on Facebook Marketplace and instantly found one like 30 minutes away.
it would be even more beneficial if we could have a thermal camera so we could see how warm or cool the supposed light is if we see it. So the traffic is backed up on the interstate next to us, and we are sitting in the parking lot of a Bass Pro Shop waiting to meet someone off a Facebook Marketplace to buy a thermal camera that hooks to our phone. The only thing is it's Android only, and we're iPhone users.
Everything, Mac,
everything is Mac.
Anytime you have like an inkling of like, I want to do this thing, and you go to Marketplace and it's like automatically there, and you're like, yes, I'm buying it today.
This was the only one in the area available today, and it just so happens to be the one I was looking for.
And it just so happens to be that today, or tonight, I guess, really, we're gonna go see,
Hopefully,
potentially see these ghost lights.
Yeah. I was like scrounging around the house to try to figure out what I could use, and all I had was a Retroid Pocket 3, which is a emulating little handheld game system. Here it is.
You got the thermal camera?
Yes, so you can see what I'm seeing here. It's kind of the perfect rig for this little thermal imaging camera because all the buttons can be mapped to different functions, so I can change it so much faster than like on a touchscreen. But I digress. In this video, anytime you see me using it, I'm literally like holding it like a periscope, and I have no idea which way to orient. We were in a hurry, but we got it. Yes. Now, why did I want a thermal imaging camera? The Dover Light is a will-o'-the-wisp, and my thought process was, I have night vision. If we're gonna go film a ghost light, I feel like being able to magnify the light and just seeing if there's any we can't see with the naked eye would be a really cool thing to use with this. But I wasn't sure if like
You could actually see anything on it?
Well, I knew with the night vision I'd be able to see it if it was a light. I knew we'd be able to see it so much better with the night vision. But I wasn't sure if this was a heat emitting source. I know a lot of people have mentioned how they thought it was swamp gas. And so I was like, if we have the thermal camera, then we can see heat. And if we can see heat, we may be able to get a clearer image of what this thing is, because lights look like balls of light, but you may be able to see an outline or something. I don't know. That was my thought process. It was a little crazy. It was fun. What else can I say? So we got the thermal imaging camera. We started driving out. And we were talking, we were literally looking up stories on the fly. We're going to see the Dover Lights, which are probably the most documented lights in Arkansas. It's like an overlook. You're looking down into a valley, and there are these ghostly lights that appear. And the thing that's weird about it is there's no electricity, so the Ozarks are pretty scarce. And the lights do not appear like campfires. They appear as like phosphorescent glows that bob up and down the hillside. Sometimes they move, sometimes they sit still, sometimes they change colors, so they'll go from like blue to yellow to green. And then one of the most interesting and strange bits about them is sometimes they actually shoot beams of light into the sky. No one really knows what they are.
But there is lore and history behind what it could be. So one thing is like natural gas, right?
Yeah, there's always a swamp gas thing. So like the scientific explanation is it could be swamp gas.
That's just getting picked up on the camera.
Well, what happens is two different types of gaseous elements mixed together that create a ignition, if you will, that creates this glow. And then there's, of course, the supernatural sides of it. So there's the stories of the Spanish Conquistadors hiding gold in the hills, and this is supposedly like their lanterns coming back for the gold. There's no gold in Arkansas. We have diamonds, but there's no gold in Arkansas, at least none that anyone's ever found. So out of luck there, but supposedly they're still haunting, trying to find it.
There's also the tale of an elderly couple from the 1800s. The wife was supposedly super sick. She was on her deathbed, essentially, and they lived up in the mountains. And as the story goes, the husband went down into town, grabbed a doctor, and the doctor basically nursed her back to health.
Unfortunately, they didn't have enough money to pay this doctor. So the husband, who was a gunsmith, made a couple bullets to pay for her treatment.
But apparently, several years later, this doctor ran across these bullets that he had been given from the husband and decided to put them on display. But then he realized that these bullets weren't made out of lead, they were made out of silver. And so the doctor was like, oh man, like they had no idea that these bullets were made out of silver. I should go pay them a visit and see what else they have, what other silver, what other riches that they have that apparently they don't know about. But then whenever he went back,
all he found were 2 tombstones. So he started digging around and started finding, like, I don't even remember how many bars, but several bars of silver, and intended on coming back the next day. But he mysteriously died in the middle of the night, and it said that this elderly couple, the spirits of this elderly couple, are often haunting the area trying to get back their silver that the doctor had taken.
There are always those that believe it could be aliens. I think a lot of the beams that these lights supposedly shine kind of sparked those stories on, because this is not normal swamp gas behavior. Indian burial?
Yeah,
because
apparently
everything in Arkansas is Indian burial.
Obviously. Apparently there is a Native American burial site right around, basically where the water is by the campground. I think it's a long pool is what the water is called. And supposedly there are unmarked graves of Native Americans, and it's said that the spirits of the chiefs are leading people into the afterlife.
Which, of course, leads to the other idea. Could it be people? Headlights and spotlights and things of that nature would shine up and create pillars of light on, foggier nights. And then you do have the select group of people that believe it could be cryptid in nature. That possibly these are fairies or ultra-terrestrials. We just got through doing an episode not too long ago on ultra-terrestrials and pocket dimensions, and you could be seeing glimpses of the other side. So, pirates. What did you find on pirates? Okay, the entire town of Dover, Arkansas is pirate themed.
Yes.
Everything in Dover is something with a pirate on it, which is very interesting because all the tales of the Dover Lights are of buried treasure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't know, man. I didn't realize Arkansas was up to pirate lore, but here we go.
The high school, they're pirates. I think they're the Jolly Rogers. It's their official flag for their.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, with their high school. But then there's Pirates Cove. There's restaurants. There's town halls, there's cemeteries, all named around pirates. I did a quick Google search because I was like, did pirates even come to Arkansas? There was a single pirate that came through Arkansas. He actually came from New Orleans, Louisiana, and it was about in the early 1800s, which supposedly all of these stories originate in the early 1800s. I didn't see anything that specifically said he went through Dover, but I did see where he went through Faulkner County, which is Conway, right?
Yes.
Through that. And then that he had made his way all the way through
Fort Smith, right?
Yeah,
Fort Smith is along the highway, and Dover's about 15 minutes-ish, about 10 miles into the Ozarks off of that highway. Welcome to Dover City Park. They got there's a
The park.
There's let's see, what kind of cryptids we got? Slide rock vulture.
Yes.
We got the Loveland frog. Wonderful. That's about it here at Dover Park.
And then there is the cemetery next door, right next to the park.
Oh yeah, so you can play and stay. So there's a lot of will-o'-the-wisps in Arkansas. While we were on there's the Crosset light.
Woodson lateral.
The Gurdon light, which we've been to before, should go back.
We definitely should.
Then of course there's the Dover lights. What makes these lights so different is the fact that they happen a lot.
For decades.
Apparently it's a very common thing. There's no electricity down in this valley, we'll get to that. There's supposedly nothing that can cause these. There's, rumors that it's will-o'-the-wisp, ghost light, cryptid. There's been Bigfoot sightings in the area apparently. Momo, the Missouri monster, has been sighted in that area because just like the Ozark howler, we share some of the cryptid lore with Momo. All kind of crazy stuff happens right in this area. I don't know, there's a lot of rumors of what the Dover lights are, but we're going to try to see them for ourselves and try to get a little more data on them if we see them.
We're 5 minutes from pulling up to the ridge.
The ridge?
Is that what it is? A ridge?
Oh, here we go.
Right. The parking?
Oh, this is where we need to pull off. Hold on. Here it is.
Your destination is on the left.
We're here, and so just a few stats. It's 8:01 p.m., 75 degrees outside. It is July 23rd.
The sun is still out.
Sun is still out. We'll be out for another 45 minutes or so. That gives us plenty of time to scout the area and figure out what exactly the place looks like. Right now we have it completely to ourselves. There is no one else out here as of yet. Mind you, like we said, it is, it's still daylight. Not exactly when you want to see a ghost light. Hello, friend. Yeah. What do you say we scout the area?
Yes.
All right.
Let's do it. Supposed to be able to see it
Down
right there.
that valley.
Yes.
That valley, I believe. I think that's where it's supposed to be coming through. I can see water. I'm about to get out my camera and my big lens and just take a look around while we still have some daylight, because I could see how that would create an optical illusion reflecting off of that water, because I can clearly see the water from here. Everyone swears up and down it's not that, but since we're out here early enough in the daytime to be able to see, there's no trees blocking it right there like I was expecting there to be. So there could be an optical illusion. We're going to have partly overcast skies. That will be beneficial to kind of help eliminate some of that question, at least. I don't think anything's supposed to come through that valley over there. I can't tell if there's water. I mean, I guarantee you up here in the Ozarks, there's water over there too. But like I said, I can clearly see water. Actually, I think you can see it right there.
I do like that we kind of got here when the sun, we can still clearly see everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like that once it starts to get darker, I feel like that's a great way to kind of pinpoint where the lights are going to be and like kind of understand like what people are seeing if it is a reflection of the water.
Yeah. So cool. Let's get the big camera out and take a look at that.
And it had a very spooky vibe to it. I will say that there was like something I just couldn't shake about it.
What the spookiest part was having the group of people come up who, all I remember is like they were asking us a lot of questions.
About where we're from.
Yeah, just like a lot of and they didn't sound, it was just suspicious. And then they started taking pictures of our equipment and stuff. I'm sure to them, being local, we probably looked pretty kooky too. So, benefit of the doubt. Sounds like we have visitors. Hopefully not out here for the same thing we are. Hopefully they just drive right on by. So we're out here. Mm-hmm. And our friends left in a hurry. So, and took a picture of our camera, which is kind of weird. But hopefully they were just humored to see a gigantic camera staring out here. Luckily, we do have cell phone service.
Yes.
We have learned.
That is a plus. If nothing else, he's super pretty right now.
Yeah. Hopefully the ghost lights make an appearance quickly.
So I don't know if you can see these clouds on this camera, but they kind of look like fingers.
All right, so here's the better zoomed in shot of what we're looking at with the creek. So you can kind of see the water right there. And they said all through this valley, our new friends over here that just came out have had actual encounters with the lights. And they said all out through this valley, right over here, we might just expect to see some stuff. If I can get it to focus in there. So we got the big camera out to try to capture anything. I think now we need to get the FLIR set up. Just get an idea for our surroundings, more so. An idea for some general temperature readouts. You can actually kind of make it out. Just that little line in the right there where the yellow dot is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just ever so slightly a different color.
Yeah.
There we go. That shows it a little better. I mean, we're talking 1 degree difference, 2 degree difference in the water. And we forgot bug spray, and it is getting very mosquito-y out here. So something else about this place, and maybe it's the hype, I don't know what, but with like these weird clouds rolling in. This place is kind of spooky.
Yeah.
The Ozarks at night are a weird place, man. But as long as the cicadas are singing, I'm not too freaked out. If they stop, we're out of here.
Yes.
So forgive the black flakes in this because this isn't the newest night vision binocular. But here you go. This is what it looks like without and with. So that direction we're facing right now, we're 1, 2, 3, we're about 5.5, 6 miles out of town that direction. I'm thinking that's a phone tower.
You can faintly pick it up on the camera.
Bullfrog Valley is that direction. Yes, that's actually the name of the town. I'm thinking that's going to be Bullfrog Valley. Okay, so for demonstration purposes, I'm actually going to bust out this flashlight and just show how bright it is. We're sitting at about 9 o'clock, so things are just now starting to get dark out here. Like it just did. Haha.
Well, it's bright.
Yeah. Okay, let's show what the light looks like. All right, so here's the light in full power. Reasonably bright. We might be able to get something to respond to it. We'll see. Okay, so you said you were down camping. Right down here at Longpole, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. And they were in front of you?
Yeah.
So what did they look like in front of you, if you don't mind my asking?
They're like white lights, but they're like dim. They weren't bright at all.
Okay.
And they were up in the trees on the side of the hill. One over here, one over there, one over there.
Like floating through the woods?
Yeah. Well,
could you?
It's like they were blinking, like a lightning bug, but not like a lightning bug.
Gotcha.
There's a lot of them too.
That's really cool. And you said you saw one when you were a kid. Do you mind sharing that again for me?
Oh yeah, it was like 3 blue lights, and they were in like a triangle, and they just shot up in the sky and disappeared.
That's so wild.
And they like to react to other lights, like a laser pointer or a flashlight, stuff like that.
Well, we're gonna see what we can get. Legitimate, like something very bright down there. I'm not making this up at all. So
We
here's
definitely saw something.
yeah, there's something out there. Here's the deal. What we're currently seeing could be possibly just like a very specific way that the water bends that captures the lights of the town some 10 miles out. See how like lights glow?
Yeah.
Look at it.
So like the water's glowing?
Almost, yeah.
But it looks like it's pulsating.
Maybe come up here behind me, you may be able to see a little better than my phone. Oh yeah, there's a big flash just now. Well, they say it likes flashlights, so... Okay, we legitimately just saw something extremely bright. I mean, bright enough where we don't even have to look through night vision. It's almost like it's wagging or something, like a lantern in the wind.
Yeah.
See, and then I was thinking, like, could it be those lights way off in the distance reflecting somehow right there? I don't know. I'm just hypothesizing. That's true. I mean, even with like naked camera, you can't really see that, but I can see them over there. But I mean, you would think you'd see them reflecting off trees and stuff. That's like spotlight level if it was going to do that. My flashlight doesn't reflect off the water down there. No, but this is, I'm right on it. You can see it plain as day if you want to come look right now. It's flickering like a flame.
There could be people at the campsite.
Yeah,
maybe.
Because there's campsites, and then it's a pretty steep cliff down to the creek. That's as far back as the campsites go, but there's a hiking trail
Okay.
back behind the campsites too.
It might be campers. Might be. The two people that were just up here with us are actually going down to the campsite right now to see if anyone's down there and to see if that explains anything. So we'll keep you posted. There's a camera. But it's so weird because you would think if there was campers, okay, that the woods over in this area would be lit up with a campfire.
Yeah.
That's the water that we're seeing right there.
Yeah.
The moon is not out, okay? There is no moon in the sky. If I look through night vision, you'll see a ton of stars and cloud coverage off in the distance, but there's no moon. There's lightning bugs, by the way. Those are lightning bugs. I'm just trying to figure, it's almost like the water itself is glowing, or the hillside is lighting up. I don't even know if you can see it with this camera. I hear a car. Hold on. So it appears the light's fading out. We're actually going to go down to the campsite and see if we see anything before too long. They're not lightning bugs.
Yeah.
These lightning bugs do not look like car headlights floating through the woods. These looked like headlights. These looked like not a lantern is brighter than a lantern. These were very specific lights.
And they were green and yellow.
They were green and yellow, and they shifted colors. And sometimes they would come on like a spotlight and kick off.
Or it would also kind of like glow like it was coming in and out, but like very slowly. And I will say that the couple that we had met there, they actually left in between us.
Yeah, drove down to the campsite.
And flashed their lights up, and we didn't see anything when that happened.
Yeah, none of that. And they verified there were no campfires. There was one campfire in the whole place, and it was on the other side at one of the big RV camps, all the way around the bend on the other side where we could physically not even see. Now, Long Pool Recreation Area does have electricity. There is a swimming area there. There are campsites in that general area.
Like RV camper sites.
That said, all of the RV camper sites and electricity is around the bend.
Yeah.
Every bit of it. You cannot see any of it from the lookout.
After we had finished recording from the ridge and we kind of drove down over to see where, if we could even see the light reflecting back up where we were, it was very spooky driving those kind of like country back roads through the campsite and not having service at that time and trying to figure out our way around the campsites, that was a little creepy too. And so I could definitely see why people think that there are strange things happening.
You get out here and you can understand how weird stuff starts happening and people see some stuff that's unexplainable. So there are a couple campers out here. We're in the campsite area. But I see a bucket light or two, but nothing is off and nothing that would have done what we were seeing over there. So we're gonna go over to the bend itself and shine back up at our friends that we met and text them and let them know. And that way maybe we can see if it is lights down here and people playing around in the bend. I don't know. That'll kind of give us at least a general idea. Gotta be honest, I wasn't expecting such a nice campground. Like, it's really nice
Yeah,
here.
it is really nice.
But yeah, we're gonna do a drive-through. It's really late, so.
But we thought about coming back and actually camping and
Yeah,
staying a
bringing our
couple
camper.
nights and do some more investigating.
Yeah, anyway, let's do a drive-through. So here's the water. And no joke, these are all bluffs and cliffs. That's pretty wild, actually. I don't know, man. We'll text them and let them know that we just shined our light and see what they say. I actually walked out onto a bluff in the closest one that you can feasibly get to where the Dover light, the overlook is. It drops off a straight cliff there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like right there?
Like right when I walked down.
Oh.
I was shining that flashlight back to the couple that we met up on the ridge. I texted them later. I was like, this is the timestamp, because you have no cell phone service there. I texted them, this is the timestamp. And they said, we have not seen anything else. None of the campsites are in the water.
Yeah.
And they are very thick. Okay, these campsites are, I mean, a good 100 feet away from the water. And then it's a giant bluff that goes down, and then it's the water, and then it's a bluff and a hillside full of trees. I don't think it's light reflecting off the bluffs. It doesn't look like reflection. When you have a light reflecting on a really big object, it illuminates that whole object kind of in a wash, right? When you have a wash like that, it lights everything up uniformly. It does not turn into little pinpoint balls of light. We got down there, shined our light, they didn't see it. They got down there and shined their lights, we didn't see it. There's like 3 campsites in the whole place that are occupied. The primitive campsites closest were all vacant minus 1 camper. They had no fire. We went and verified.
Yeah.
There's no houses on the way into there. There's only 1 road on the way into there. We took it. There are no houses. The only power is at those few campsites up top around the corner and the bathroom. That's it. And the swimming area, and all that's on the other side of Longpole Recreation. So this is the video of the campsite that I actually walked out onto, which I would have been closest to where that little inlet would have been. This is where I was when I took that last video that I shone back my flashlight toward them to see if they could see it. That means these over here is a little bit of a bluff. This is that campsite that I'm looking at right here. That's where I was. There's the rock outcropping. Here's the rock outcropping. This is further down the creek.
So are these campfires?
There was no campers there. That's the thing.
There were some RVs though.
But they were back in the woods, not on the water. There was no one on the water when we were down there. So this is that outcropping. Right around here is where that campsite would have been. I don't know, but that would have to be a really bright light.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
I have no idea what it is. I know that I saw something, and it's very hard to explain. And I feel like, in my opinion, our results are very inconclusive.
Yeah, I agree.
I've seen other people's videos and pictures of what they've seen, and photos that I've seen, they're kind of all different colors. I've seen green, I've seen yellow, but I've also seen red, I've seen orange.
It can't be a campfire.
Uh-huh.
campfires aren't green and yellow.
That's true.
Campfires emit a orange glow.
Yeah.
Now
that's
there
true.
is an orange glow in the bottom right corner of one of our videos. And I have seen the time lapse on the news that had that orange glow that was kind of similar. But all the green and yellow dots through there are green and yellow.
Yeah.
And sometimes red. That's not, even a flashlight is blue. That's not the color of lights.
Yeah.
That's
So,
not the color of lights.
In my opinion, our results are inconclusive and we're gonna have to go back. And I honestly feel like we may have to bring a couple people with us
I agree.
next time we go, so we can have, like you said, the walkie-talkies, or one of us can be up at the ridge and vice versa. And I also think that maybe we need to stay a little later.
I think we need to camp at Longpool.
Yeah.
I think we camp at Longpool and we do some investigation.
And maybe drive back and forth a couple different times during the night.
Yeah, or put a time lapse up on the ridge,
Mm-hmm.
you know, hide it in the bushes and do a time lapse of stuff to see what we can capture. But my theories, I don't think it's campers, but there's always a chance. I know it's not hikers. We were there on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
There was no one, man.
It wasn't like a weekend where everybody
We
was
had
out.
one single car come up there to hang out, and they left 10 minutes after being there, and that was at 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
they were only
like
there
it wasn't
for 10
even
minutes.
dark when they were there.
We had the other group that came out to look at the light just like we did. There were 2 campers. I talked to one of them. It wasn't them.
I know a lot of haunted on Indian Creek that's not far from here.
Uh-huh.
I don't know anything here.
Both of them were on the other side anyway, and there was one single truck. They had no fire. There were no embers. We drove right by it. However, I'm really amazed to say we actually saw something. I guess this is just the start of a whole lot of investigations.
Yes.
We'll say this is chapter 1 in an ongoing series that will be the Dover Light, as well as a lot of investigation into Falk Monster, the Ozark Howler,
The Gowrow.
White River Monster, and maybe even Momo apparently. So there's all kind of sightings in Arkansas. All right, it's time to go home.
Back for more?